Twitter shares closed at an all-time low. Jack Hidary is here. He is the former CEO of Dice.com. Ari Zoldan is here as well, the CEO of Quantum Networks. Welcome to you both. Great to see you. So is Twitter in play, yay or nay?
Twitter's in trouble.
Okay.
Twitter does not know where it's going. It's headless, stateless, does not have a leader right now. There's no captain of the ship. And also it doesn't know what it's doing because it is at 300 million monthly active users, has not grown effectively in 2 years.
And to your point, there's no CEO. I mean, Jack Dorsey is there, one of the original founders, but he's
also still running Square. And,
yeah, I mean, it's clear that he's part-time or transitional. So $30 actually per share is a number that I saw a lot of analysts come up with and say, you know what, this starts to look cheap enough for someone to buy.
Right. Yeah, I think $30 is a great buy. I don't think it's cheap, but I think it's a good buy. And I think to push back a little bit, they will get a CEO, and I think they'll get a really good CEO. The question is when. But you're right. Right now, it's sort of this in-between time, so I think there's a lot of questions out on the street.
But now, once the CEO comes, the question is, what's their strategy, right? What kind of product is it? Why is it not growing, even though every show, including this one, touts Twitter all the time?
Well,
right?
I think it's great for journalists, and I love it. I'm an addict. I say that openly, but it's true that if you're not in media and you're not reading, I don't know what you would do if you were not in this field.
So WhatsApp is growing, Snapchat is growing by leaps and bounds, yet Twitter just remains flat. So there's a real crisis in terms of how do you grow this? If you can't grow, you're not going to grow revenues and profit either.
Okay, and of course, you know, as you say, Facebook hot on the heels with its own app. Uber partnering with AARP. I don't know if you saw that Simpsons clip there, but is this idea the older drivers are safer drivers? PR, real business strategy? What do you think?
It's real, and I think it's great. You know, it's not cutesy. I think it's very real. You've got 1 million Uber rides per day, 160,000 drivers out there on behalf of Uber, and you have a demographic that's older. A lot of them are unemployed, but they're also great drivers. So it's a perfect strategic fit.
Jack,
this is part of a larger trend, which is people are going to be driving their own cars less and less. There's going to be major calamity in terms of the car rental companies, in terms of even car sales.
Well, Uber even started that leasing arm. Did you see that? So they probably are even anticipating exactly what you're saying.
So they need more drivers. They're looking for pools and demographics of drivers. So I agree. This is going to be a great demographic for them to grow into. They're going to have to get to 2-3 million rides per day. They need more drivers to get there.
All right. Speaking of more driving, at least in New York City, that means less walking, which makes me think of this. Navy shaking up its fitness requirements, saying, you know what? If you're strong, you can be a little heavier. If you can still do the work you're supposed to do, basically, we don't care.
Well, you know, this is the fundamental shift from once or twice a year checking in on a physical, right? That's the way we've always thought about health and health checking. We go for the physical, annual physical. In the Navy, it's been twice a year, to now continuous monitoring. So this is a Fitbit tracker right here. Other people use the Apple Watch, of course. The Navy's choosing the Fitbit tracker right now to give it to their sailors and say, hey, 24/7, let's actually get a general, bigger picture sense of how you're doing health-wise, and that'll, of course, connect with the phone, which gives you all those metrics and data. That's what they're looking for, the overall metrics and data, not just once-a-year physicals.
Yeah, no, I happen to agree, but I think this stuff is great, and it's also an accessory. I think it has to be part of a lifestyle, obviously. And look, you know, I'm not a good case study for it. You're in a lot better shape than I am, but I think I agree. Checking in once or twice, I don't think is going to do it. I think this technology is great. But I think an overall lifestyle change for the Navy, I think, would be a good move.
All right. Here. There we go. Hold those thoughts. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Jack and Ari. Of course, we just want to let you know there is some breaking news here on GM. Ignition switch deaths and injuries now totaling 398. Faulty ignition switches responsible for at least 124 deaths, 274 injuries. This is according to a fund set up to compensate victims. The fund just finished processing these papers, more than 4,000 claims it had received by the January 31st deadline. Those numbers just being released now. When we come back, actress Jessica Alba's sunscreen customers are getting burnt. What her response means for her clients and her competitors. First, though, an app that makes your next set of eyeglasses much easier to get. We will introduce you to the CEO who is seeing the future in 2020.